Okay, last fight of the night is the main event. This is definitely a fight I waited a long time for. 12-1. Erin Blanchfield versus 13-1. Manon and Fiorot. I think this is like number two and number three fighting each other. I saw a promo on it last night. Yeah, I was at the promo they were putting on during last night's fights. Manon Fiorot mentioned that she has more tools than Erin Blanchfield, and I'm not sure if I really agree with that. I'm sure Fiorot can hold her on the ground. She's actually really good on the ground, actually. But Blanchfield is better on the ground. She's a jiu-jitsu wizard. And she said something last night about how she chains things together. That was very powerful. She links everything together, even her punching. And she's not a great puncher. She did outpunch Jessica Andrade, but Jessica Andrade at this point of her career, that looked like a really good victory for Blanchfield. But now that I see more of Andrade, even though she just beat Mackenzie Dern, smashed her, I think the later in Andrade's career isn't going to be, it's one of those fights where looking back later, you're like, okay, maybe it wasn't as good of a win as you thought it was. At that point in time, nobody really knew who, not a lot of people, other than real diehards, knew who Erin Blanchfield was. I saw her back when she fought Tracy Cortez, so I knew how good she was. She beat Cortez. It was a close fight. Could have gone either way. But, oh no, maybe she lost. She lost to Cortez. I think she lost that one. It could have gone either way. I think that's her only loss. Blanchfield's only loss. Okay, so I think that the thing that worries me is that Blanchfield has not been active since that Andrade fight. And I think she needs to fight more younger fighters. That's the thing with Fiorot. I think Fiorot's turned back a lot of young, not necessarily prospects, but people on their way up. Fiorot has that temperament. She's gonna be ready for Blanchfield. This fight can go either way. She's either gonna be too much for Blanchfield to handle on the feet, and be holding her off on the ground enough, or hold the takedowns enough to. I think once she gets a hold of Blanchfield, if Blanchfield's not successful, yeah, she's not. I think Blanchfield's going to be better than she was against Andrade on the feet for sure. She might be able to trade with Fiorot, but I at this point in time, I think Fiorot is going to piece her up. But I think that Blanchfield will go down, or Fiorot will attempt to match her on the ground. And I think Blanchfield, the thing that sold me on this is Blanchfield chaining things. She works. She knows how to transition very well. Everything she does. One thing about Erin Blanchfield, and you can hear this when she talks. She doesn't. She seemed like an attorney. She talks. She's very educated. She sounds educated. I think she's very intelligent, and she's clear in her head enough to know how to transition. Everything that she does is really thought out of, well thought out of. I don't think she's going to get to a point in the fight with fear of, oh, I overestimated myself, or I didn't look into this. And I think she's probably done the research on Firo. Maybe she doesn't do research. Maybe she just knows her own potential. I mean, like Peyton Talbot. I don't think he worried about Cameron Saman. He so focused on his own skill level. He had total belief in that. I think Blanchfield's much the same, but of course she's more progressed. She's like number two contender. I think. Well, this is going to be for the title shot. Um, Winner's going to get a title shot at Alexa Grasso. I have to, isn't it Alexa Grasso in this division? But yeah, I think Fiorot is a little deceptive fighting Rose, who's moving up in weight. You should be moving up in weight and fighting the number two or three contender. Fighting Amanda Hebos is one thing. Number eight, Amanda Hebos is overrated, anyways. So, but fighting a higher weight division against one of the top three fighters in France, that was Rose's mistake. Yeah, Fiorot deserved to win, but that's the worst I've ever seen Fiorot. She didn't look that good in that fight. I think Fiorot. She's gonna have to come in really sharp. I don't even know where this fight is. It's probably in Vegas, but I just think Blanchfield's getting better. She beat Miranda Maverick pretty easily. She destroyed Jessica Andrade. There's really nobody out there that's really competed with her. I mean, other than Tracy Cortez, and Cortez is a fireball, man. I think the reason you want to watch this fight is because, like Blanchfield said, the only other one that deserves a title shot is Fiorot. And Fiorot was there before Blanchfield was, but Blanchfield definitely deserves to be higher rated right now. I think the lines are pretty right on. Let me see what the lines were. Okay, so when I went to go look back at the lines, forgot what the lines were. I was talking so long. The camera shut itself off. So this is gonna be a part two. Erin Blanchfield's a minus 155. Manafiro is a plus 130. I think those lines are spot on. Those are pretty good. Actually, no. No. I think Blanchfield should be like a 125 favorite, not a 155. As much as I believe in Blanchfield, I think she's gonna win this fight. I think that the lines are, well, I don't know. I think people know. I think people have seen enough of Blanchfield. I don't know. Maybe they're right on. My pick for this Saturday night is going to be Erin Blanchfield at minus 155. I'm going to take her. I think she will get the sub in round two. I think she's gonna get it Fiorot out of there. I think Fiorot is going to come in overconfident. I think Fiorot is going to have a chip on her shoulder. She's going to come in thinking that Blanchfield probably hasn't faced as better competition, which she's right, partially right. I think she's going to think that it's undeserving for Blanchfield to have passed her in their rankings. I think Fiorot was looking at waiting for a title shot when Blanchfield passed her. I think this is why she's fighting this fight. I think Blanchfield is not. I think two different mentalities. I think Fiorot is going to have a little bit of bitterness in there. She's gonna fight a little bit more emotional, whereas Blanchfield's going to fight more technical. I think Fiorot thinks she's going to overpower Blanchfield, and she can. But I think Blanchfield is going to do exactly what she says. She's going to chain things together. I think she's going to either have Fiorot behind the whole fight, or she'll sub her out. I think she's good enough to beat her in that way manner. I think this is the shot. I mean, whoever wins gets a title shot. I'm not saying Fiorot can't win. I say it's a 60-40 for Blanchfield. I think Blanchfield's um, they're both strong mentally. They're both strong mentally. I think Blanchfield is a little bit more skilled. Definitely not on the feet. Fiorot is a pretty good fighter, but I think she's going to come in a little overconfident. I think she's going to have the steam of being in France, fighting in front of that, fighting a legend like Rose Namajunas, winning that fight, and then coming in. Rose was moving up in weight, and the fight was in France, and Rose had an injury. I think everything is against Fiorot in this one. And I'm not saying she doesn't have the heart to overcome this, but she's going against a really good jiu-jitsu expert. I think she's gonna I think she's gonna get dominated in this fight. I think she'll have some good moments, but I think Blanchfield's ready to take over. I do. I think Blanchfield's the best in this division, and Manon might be number two. So it's gonna be a good fight. It's definitely gonna be a great fight, but it's unfortunate for Manon Fiorot. She has to go through Blanchfield. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? Who I'm rooting for? I don't know. Probably Blanchfield. I like them both. I really wish them both all the best. I do. I like Blanchfield. I mean, she took out my girl. I like Miranda. I'm kind of a friend of Miranda Maverick. I talk to her once in a while, or I did for a couple years ago. She's one of the coolest UFC fighters that will respond to you if you have any criticism or suggestions on her Instagram. She's one of the coolest people out there, and I consider her my friend, and I think um she's one of the coolest out there, and I always root for Miranda Maverick, and I felt bad the day she fought Erin Blanchfield, because I knew how potential Blanchfield was. I knew how good Blanchfield was, and I thought Miranda Maverick might have been overlooking her, and I wanted to tell her, but I didn't want to make it sound like you don't believe in somebody. I just wanted her to take her more serious, and so it wasn't until after the fight I got to talk to her a little bit about it, and she has her own opinions on it. But you got, like I said before, you got to look at the opponent. It's not just what you did or what you didn't do. And Blanchfield has proven even more that why she beat Miranda Maverick. She's that fucking good. Hopefully Miranda Maverick gets back up there, and she's won a couple in a row. But with these two fighters, I really hope that they do good. So I'm definitely a fan of Blanchfield, especially after she beat Maverick and Fiorot. I think the world of. I just am disappointed after that Namajunas fight. I think she should have beaten Namajunas way more convincing at home with Namajunas and an injury and moving up in weight. I think Fiorot should have capitalized on that energy the French crowd had, and she looked like to have home court advantage and win like that. Nah, I think she should have looked. What if she fought Rose in the States? Look at Rose last night. She looked kind of unmotivated. She still beat. She definitely deserved the decision over Amanda Hebal, but if Ben and Firo fought Rose in the States, and Rose was kind of slow and not. I mean, that's the way she fights. She fights like she's not interested, but she's inconsistent. And I think if Firo would have struggled in the States, I don't even know if she got the win. I don't know. My pick is Blanchfield, people. I'm putting Blanchfield. I'm taking Blanchfield at 155 minus 155. That's my pick.